Welcome to Data Unveiled, where we transform complex data into engaging visual stories. In today's episode, we will dive deep into one of the most pressing issues of our time, global warming. Using data from the past several decades, we will visualize the alarming rise in global temperatures and its impacts on our planet. Global warming refers to the long-term increase in Earth's average surface temperature due to human activities, particularly the emission of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane. To understand the scale of this issue, let's look at the data. Since the late 19th century, the average global temperature has risen by approximately 1.2 degrees Celsius, 2.2 degrees Fahrenheit. While this might seem small, it's enough to cause significant disruptions in our climate systems. Let's take a closer look at the historical temperature data. We'll start with the decade-by-decade changes in global temperatures. The blue line represents the global temperature anomalies relative to the 20th century average. Notice the steady increase, especially from the 1970s onwards. In the 1880s, the average global temperature was slightly below the 20th century average. By the 1930s, we began to see a slight increase. However, the most significant changes occurred in the latter half of the 20th century. From the 1980s to the present day, the rate of temperature increase has accelerated. The 2010s were the hottest decade on record, with 2016 and 2020 tying as the warmest years. What has caused this dramatic rise in temperatures? The primary culprit is the increase in greenhouse gas emissions. Here we see the global carbon dioxide emissions from fossil fuels since the Industrial Revolution. Notice the sharp increase starting in the mid-20th century. This correlates closely with the rise in global temperatures. The largest sources of these emissions include electricity and heat production, agriculture, transportation, and industry. The consequences of rising global temperatures are profound and far-reaching. Let's visualize some of the key impacts. Heat waves have become more frequent and severe. Regions like Europe, North America, and parts of Asia have experienced unprecedented heat events in recent years. Sea levels are rising as glaciers and ice sheets melt. Coastal cities like Miami, New York, and Jakarta are facing increased flooding and erosion. Precipitation patterns are also changing. Some areas are experiencing more intense rainfall and flooding, while others face prolonged droughts. Arctic sea ice is declining rapidly. Each summer, we see smaller and thinner ice coverage, which disrupts marine ecosystems and contributes to global sea level rise. What does the future hold if we continue on our current path? Climate models predict that without significant action, global temperatures could rise by 2 to 4 degrees Celsius by the end of the century. This would have catastrophic impacts on natural and human systems. However, it's not too late to make a change. By reducing greenhouse gas emissions, transitioning to renewable energy, and adopting sustainable practices, we can mitigate the worst effects of global warming. Global warming is a critical issue that requires immediate attention. The data is clear. Our planet is warming at an unprecedented rate, and the impacts are already being felt around the world. Thank you for watching Data Unveiled. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe for more data-driven stories. Together, we can spread awareness and drive action to combat global warming. Stay tuned for more insights, and remember, the power of data can change the world.